Hello my friends, welcome back to Keto and the Chaos. My name is Tammy, and on this channel I like to share how I lost 205 pounds without surgery and how you can be successful on your own weight loss journey. So if that's what you're looking for, don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for more videos like this one to inspire you to get started. It's Cardio Coach Resting Metabolic Rate Analysis. It's a machine, and basically what it does is you breathe through a tube for about 10-ish minutes, well, 3 minutes before the test starts, and then about 10 minutes while they monitor the gases that leave your body. They measure how much oxygen your body utilizes, and they use that information to be able to determine how many calories you're burning lying completely still. So the thing about the test was that you had to be completely fasted. You can't have had any caffeine, which is why I didn't do a bang soda that morning. And you have to be very still. You can't have just exercised. You have to lie in a chair and relax. And they try and find out what your basal metabolic rate is. So I went in for this test, and I'm going to show you, first I'm going to show you a few clips from the actual test. It's very interesting. So I'm going to show you that right now.
You will need to take your mask off for this one,
Right.
just because, you know.
It's a breathing thing.
Yeah, that'll be the nose plug that you'll use in a few minutes. You don't put it on right now. I'll let you know if you're breathing too deep or too shallow.
Okay.
Guiding yourself.
Okay.
I have to do everything. We have to look at everything from my computer. There's like, this will pop up a number. Once it starts, it'll show her volume of oxygen, and I'll be able to know where it's at and if she's breathing too deep or too shallow based off of that number. And then the computer will have a trend line. So cool. It's all relevant to the test. Okay, you're done. You know that you never want to, you shouldn't go below it, because then you can lose muscle really easily because your body thinks it's in starvation mode and it attacks that, and it can actually ruin your metabolism and slow it down a lot more. Okay? So with you eating around like 1,300 calories, it's not actually helping with like losing body fat percentage or anything like that. It'll just make your body fat percentage go up. Okay. So the DEXA was really pretty close actually. So the DEXA put you at 1555. Your actual RMR is at 1627. So okay. Not that far off. Okay. So you never want to eat below that. So for you, like a deficit, like for fat loss, I like to call it fat loss other than deficit, you'll probably want to be around like 1,800 at the lowest of calories and like.
Well, that's what I'm trying to push for, because the problem is the last time you guys told me that, and I went right to doing that right after I left here, and gained 20 pounds.
Well,
so I don't want that to happen again.
So there's a few ways that we want people to do it. So if you're not eating enough, like with you eating at 1,300, you don't want to go from 1,300 to 2,000 calories. Right, which is what I did. So that's probably no.
So that's why I'm saying I'm going into a reverse. So I'm basically going to be adding it slowly to try and get up to that number.
Whenever I'm telling people, like with calories, especially when they're under eating, I always tell people add a couple hundred calories extra per day and work your way up to it. I don't tell people just to go from that to that.
Right.
I don't know who went over your report.
Well, I don't know that anyone said really what to do, because I didn't really ask, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think she said I don't remember who it was, but I don't think she said to just jump to that, but she didn't. I don't think she assumed that I would not know that either. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm learning still.
No, you're fine. I always tell people.
I've never even heard about reverse dieting until like the last couple of months, and then I went, why didn't I know about this?
Yeah. So
I want to stay keto, but I want to raise my calories. I tried raising the fats first to try and get to that. I found that like it was like my body went, oh, food, and I couldn't stop eating the fats. So then I stopped doing that right before I did the January one. So right before I did
this one.
Yeah, so you can see how much it went up.
Yeah.
Body fat percentage wise, and not necessarily weight wise. I mean, it was some, but
But yeah, percentage-wise. Yeah.
Percentage-wise, it went up, and so I went and I started doing more protein and less fats. So my proteins were like more like in the 150 to 180.
Protein can help to build muscle and stuff like that.
Right, and I knew that too, and I've never let my protein be low. So my calories are low because I eat a lot of protein usually. Like 134 is my average protein per day.
Yeah.
And then my carbs are of course really low because I'm doing keto. So I went to eating more protein and less fats, but I was still eating 2,000 calories or more. And I gained 10 more pounds still. And I'm like, are you serious? So when I started at the beginning of the summer, I was, probably a lot of it was water weight, but I was 196 pounds at the beginning of the summer.
Start keto, a lot of it's water weight.
Well, and I've been doing keto. I never stopped keto. So I was just eating more fat and protein, still keeping the carbs low.
That's the problem. I mean, I tell people that if keto's working for you to keep doing it. I don't really specifically like the diet because it's not sustainable because of things like that.
I'm also extremely afraid now of regain because I've had done that before. I lost 110 and then I gained 150. So that's my literal worst fear. So eating more food scares the crap out of me, but I'm going to make myself do it.
Well, I think,
and I'm holding myself accountable to YouTube for making myself do it.
I think just as long as you're above the 1627 and just be careful with like, make sure you have enough protein.
It scares me. I mean, I know the scale fluctuates, but like, dude, I know I gained body fat because I showed that I gained body fat and still lost lean mass eating.
Well, this time you actually went down a little bit.
Yes, but I mean, like, so I'm talking
time,
like the previous time I was at 31, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then by January, when I was eating between 2,000 and 3,000 calories a day, not eating in carbs, I still lost 5 pounds of freaking lean mass.
And maybe you'll need to kind of go like what I was saying. Maybe eventually try not a strict keto and do part keto, like still have a little more fats, but add just a little bit of carbs. Because who knows, maybe your body does really well with it when you're adding exercise and everything into it. You'd be surprised. That's why there's been I know there's a lot of research on keto, but like we've talked to people who've done keto and then they'll tell us like later that I stopped because it wasn't sustainable and just did counting calories or just ate normal healthy foods, but just did like.
Well, that's what I'm kind of doing anyways. I mean, when you look at what I eat, you would never believe it was that low calorie, right, Dave? I mean, come on. I think part of the reason is because I only eat twice a day because I'm doing intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting is hard to hit your calories as well.
Right.
Luckily, even though you were under eating, your metabolism
is still normal, right?
Yeah.
Because 1627, it should be pretty close to what it says I should be average, right? It's better.
Faster than normal.
So that's good.
So you're still in the normal.
Because I should technically be able to eat a higher level of calories and still lose weight, right? Come on, tell me that. That's what I want to hear. I want to give it a lot of time to like try and see if it can do it.
It's also hard to hit these calories when you're intermittent fasting. So maybe it's not the keto that's necessarily not working.
It's that.
Maybe it's intermittent fasting.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Just try take a little bit of a break from intermittent fasting, or don't do it for as long, and even if you have crosswords as maybe an afternoon snack or a snack or something in between your two big meals that you would normally have, or just kind of play with it.
All right. Well,
do you have any questions for me with that?
No. So yeah, the lady told me that the worst part of the test was the little pincher that went on your nose. I wish they had one of those big mask ones like I've seen on other videos, but they didn't. They just literally pinch your nose closed with these really sharp pinchers. That didn't bother me near as much as trying to breathe through a tube. She was like, you're gonna have to be a mouth breather. Have you ever gone scuba diving? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, you have to be a mouth breather for the next 13 minutes. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I breathe through my mouth. Oh, guys, I breathe through my nose way more than I thought. It gave me claustrophobia. My heart was racing and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to breathe regularly because I'm freaking out. But that's why they have 3 minutes of calibration, because they know you're going to freak out when you first start trying to breathe through a tube. It's weird. You're breathing straight oxygen, and so you cannot die, but it feels like you're suffocating. It's so weird. Also quite painful, and strangely, you feel extremely dried out. Your mouth gets really, really dry, and yet you feel like you need to swallow constantly because of saliva, even though there's no saliva because you're so dry. It's this very weird sensation. But I wanted to do it because I wanted to know where my metabolism had been killed to, right? Because many people on this channel have given me a hard time about my low calories more than once. I even did a video about how low calories is no big deal and your body can deal. And people were still going, I'm so glad you're finally listening to me about the low calories being so bad. I wasn't. The video's about how it's okay. Go watch it again. Anyway, you would have to like be literally starving to death, go a very long time without any food at all, or be on such an extreme deficit. We're talking like prisoner of war camp deficit to actually damage your metabolism. Your body naturally slows down your metabolism when your calories are low. That's a healthy thing. It's what your body's supposed to do. The thing is, it makes losing weight difficult for doing it for long periods of time, right? So that is the thing. Plus, it's hard to sustain. You get hungry, you get ornery, you just feel crappy. You're tired. You know, like it's not fun to do such an extreme deficit for super long amount of time. When I was obese, it was easy because my body had oodles of energy to deal with. Now that I am no longer obese, my body does not love it, and I can only do it for short stints, which is why I did 12 weeks, okay? So this was a planned thing. It's very well documented. Like, people talk about it all the time. Calories, 1,300 calories is fine. It's fine. Doctors put people on 1,300 calories diets all the time. It's not a big deal. So, but I was expecting, because I had just done 13 weeks of 1,300 calories. See what I did there? I didn't even know that was going to happen. But I had just done that. I expected my metabolism to be down, very low, and be starting at a pretty low, like under normal rate. So like the normal that the DEXA scan actually gives you is based on basically your body fat percentages and all that, and go hickey. And it says right, yeah, 1550, right? 1550. So that's what my basal metabolic rate should be for a normal person of my size and makeup. Okay, so that's kind of, I was expecting to be like under that. I was expecting to be 1,300, 1,400, because I'd been doing the 1,300 for a long time. And even though I'd taken a 9-month diet break, I was still worried that my metabolism was going to be starting out low. And I was kind of hoping it would be, because then when I went back in to do the test again, I could show how my reverse diet had reversed my metabolism, right? Wrong. All you people out there who are criticizing me for my low calories and telling me I'm damaging my freaking metabolism can just... Because guess what, guys? Yeah. See this right here? This is normal metabolism. See that right there? That's this girl. Higher than normal. So, according to this test, which I did really well on, she complimented my ability to breathe through a tube. Oh, that was awful. But I was very calm, and I was very collected, and I breathed very reasonably. And I think that the thing is as accurate as the thing can be, but who knows? I mean, come on. But it said that I burned, lying there, 1,627 calories a day. So almost 100 more than what the DEXA scan would put me at based on what I currently am made up, and well over 100 more than what the Renfo scale puts me at, which the Renfo scale puts me at 1495, I think. My metabolism is great. I could keep going with this deficit for a while and probably lose a lot more weight. I don't want to. My mental head is not in the game anymore. I really need a break. I like taking diet breaks. I like having rest. And I really think the fact that I took a rest, for such a long time really built my metabolism back up to a reasonable level so that I could go back down. And so I'm not going to be able to push it up very far on this reverse. The thing is, I just need to go slowly so that my body can kind of get used to the idea. Because like last time, I don't know what my basal metabolic rate is because I didn't do the test. I kind of wish I had done the test last year. And I've been watching so many videos. There's people that do 2 weeks on a cut and then 2 weeks off. And then there's people that do like 8-week cuts and then like 12-week rests. And then there's people that do the same, 12 and 12. Or then there's people that advocate 9 months off and 3 months on. Where have we seen that before? this girl. So what I'm doing is totally fine and healthy. And if you don't agree with it, that's fine. But I want to make sure that I'm teaching you something that's totally fine and healthy. And the research all points to this being totally fine and healthy. Will your metabolism slow down when you're eating a low-calorie diet? Yes. Is that a bad thing? No. Can I say that one more time? Will your metabolism slow down when you're on a low-calorie diet? Yes. Is that a bad thing? No. And the reason why is because your body is literally created to do that. It's literally created to slow down the things that you do. You're blinking, you're moving, you're twitching. It's literally created to slow you down to best utilize what's available in times of famine and starvation, so you don't damage yourself. It's literally how your body is programmed, and it's okay. The key is to not do it to the point where you have to cut your calories so low that you literally feel like you're gonna die. Because you'll get to the point where your metabolism has been so slowed down that you have to really lower the calories to get any results. If that is happening to you, this reverse that I am doing, this is what you have to do in order to build your metabolism back up. Slowly raise your calories over time, as slow as you can stand. Read some books, look at some information, and then make your decision on what you're gonna do. But as for me and my body, I am doing a reverse. And so if you do the math and you look at how many pounds I lost over the summer, so in 13 weeks I lost 24 pounds. If you multiply that by 3,500 calories per pound, and then you divide it by however many days that I've done it to get the average pound or average calories basically burned extra, that gives me an extra 900 calories a day. That's saying I was in a 900 calorie deficit. Now that's, of course, if some of that wasn't just water weight and if it was fat. So I'm guessing it's probably not that much, but it is my goal to slowly raise up my calories to where I can get to between, so I can have a happy place between 1,800 and 2,200 calories per day. That's what I want. That's what I want to be able to eat and sustain over time. If I can hit that by November and hold it through December, I might do a mini cut about like 4 to 8 weeks in January if I feel like it. If I don't feel like it, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to do a summer cut again. I feel like if I can get a handle on keeping myself the same, that's practically impossible. We all know we're not going to stay the same. It's just like there's always going to be something. You're going to be moving. It's not ever going to be completely stable. But if I can reasonably sustain my success over some time, then I can do an extreme cut once or twice a year, and I can hit 1,300 calories if I want to, and it's not going to damage my metabolism, and I'm going to cut fast, which is nice, and get it over with and get back to my reversing and get back to my maintenance calories. This is all an experiment. It's all just information. I'm not a guru. I don't know much about it. I'm not a bodybuilder. I watch a lot of them. I try to glean as much information from these guys that do this like for a profession as much as possible. I watch as many videos as I can on the subject. I don't have really very many people I can ask about this. And so I'm literally just stuck doing experiments on myself. And last year I did the experiment of jumping right to the calories and seeing what happened, and we all know how that ended. And this year we're trying to slowly raise them up, but get them up there. That's the idea, without packing on the pounds. I do expect to gain some weight during this, so I am not like deluding myself that I won't gain any weight. Obviously, I expect to. I do expect to possibly lose some weight this month because I will continue to be in a very obvious deficit, considering I'm supposedly burning 1,600 calories just sitting here, not doing anything, which you know I'm not going to be not doing anything. I'm a mom of 9 and I'm homeschooling, and we're starting dance back up next week. Whew. Anyway, thanks for watching all of this. I feel like it's kind of disjointed. I kept trying to put this together in my head, and it's just all still a bunch of thoughts. And so I hope that I presented this in a way that helps you understand kind of what my frustration was about and kind of where I've gotten to with my plan of attack and where my head game is at. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope this video was helpful in some way, or at the very least I was entertaining. And we'll talk, And don't forget to check out all of the goodies in the About section where I can give you tips and advice, and you can join us on Facebook and all that, and Patreon and everything. Blah, blah, blah. And all of that good stuff. Check all that stuff down in the About section below, and definitely subscribe, like the video, and come back, and I will see you all again soon.